Thank you. Okay, guys. So this is basically. Let me start from scratch. Then this is the interface of Power BI desktop, right? And then to start with, we need data set, right? So we will go here, get data. We will go to Excel workbook, and then I'll select whatever data set I want to use, right? So let me go to Power BI query examples, data sets, and then sample data set. This is like the Excel data set that I have created. I'll open it. And then I get this page pop up, which is like navigator, right? So now I see here sample data set. Here the data set will appear, which you want to basically load or use for transformation, right? So I'll clear sheet, click on sheet 1, and then here we have three options: load, transform data, and cancel. So before loading, I see here that we have null values in the column. We have under this, like we need to get this name gender at the header, uh, various manipulations we need to do in this data set before loading, right? So before loading, what we need to do is we need to click on transform data. So I'll click on transform data, and then this Power Query editor will come. Power Query that we discussed yesterday, right? So this is the left side, we have query uh, pane. In the mid, we can do any kind of manipulations here. So this is like data thing. And then the right side is query setting. So you can basically set the name as well of the data set. And these are the applied steps. So see, I have not done anything till now. I have just uploaded it, and under applied step, we see like there are 4 steps that the Power BI has already applied. So what are all these? The first step is source. So where your data set is actually present, like from where you picked the data set. So the Excel, right? The navigation thing is basically it navigated to this particular area. So this happened, and then the third thing is promoted header. So it automatically, what it understood is the first row was header, and it automatically promoted it to headers, and then the it automatically applied the change type thing, which means that it has applied the uh, change the type of each of the column, right? So whether it's numeric, or it's integer, or it's text. So according to the Power BI, whatever it it thought that it is correct, it has applied to each of the column, right? So what we will do, we will not keep these, because this is not controllable. I don't know like what Power BI has assigned to each of the column, right? So what I'll do, I'll close these two, and I'll just keep this source and navigation, so that like it understood from where it has to pick the data set, and it has actually imported the data in this page. So these two things I'll keep, these two applied steps, and then I'll do from my end, right? So till here, everything is clear for you guys, right? Or do you have any questions?
Yeah, it's clear.
Wait.
Okay, got it. So now, you guys tell me, like, if I need to delete these two rows, because if you see here, the first row and the second row are junk. We don't want it in our data set. So how can I delete those?
By using remove rows, top 2 rows.
Got it. Yes, you're right. So what I'll do, I'll go here, I'll remove top rows. I'll select the number of rows that I want to remove, and then press OK, right? So the thing that you mentioned, like remove rows, is kind of manipulations that we are doing to data. So see, you know everything. It's just how to answer your question, right? So if anybody asks you what all manipulations you can do in a data set once you import it inside Power BI, so this is one of the things that you can do, like removing rows, right? The second thing, what do you think, what are the second step we should do here?
The headings.
Headings. So how can I make it like header?
select the first rows and use a first row as a header.
Got it. So that's nice. Use first row as header. Yeah. So now it is the first row has become an header. And now we know that the first column is name, second is gender, third is department, fourth is salary. So here in this data set, we have in total 6 columns. The fifth column is
What was that
location and
order?
sixth column is date. Go on.
I'm
Anybody
so
has any
sorry.
question?
Yeah, choosing as a header. Where did we pick that?
Your voice is not clear actually. Can you talk a little louder?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Burjo, are you talking? Okay.
Yes. Now, choosing as a header, that option, I didn't see how it came.
Which one? Which portion? How to delete
Choosing,
the rows?
no, the second part.
Achha, how to make the first row as header?
Yes.
Okay. So let me remove the 2 steps, right? And let me do it again. So till here you are clear, right? Like we have
Yeah.
removed the top 2 rows, right?
Yeah.
Now what we need to do is we need to make this particular row as header. So you need to select this row, or in fact you don't need to select also. Like without selecting also, what you can do is you can just go here under home, uh, at the top ribbon, you can
Yeah.
see there is use first row as header,
Yeah.
right?
Got it.
So you can go here and you can click on the first option, which is use first row as header, and it has now converted into header.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay. So now we have 6 columns in total here. So now the data is coming together, right? Like we have done two manipulations already. We have removed rows. We have made the first row as header. Now what you guys think, like what else we can do in this data? After looking at this data, is this something like is there something we can do, or is it fine to upload?
No, we can change the salary to with a dollar sign. For that we can go
And replace the null values.
Okay. Yeah, you are right. So if you see here under gender column and under department column, we have null values. So let me scroll down so that you can see. Or before, like without scrolling, we can filter from here and see. So under gender, we have male, female, and null, right? And then under department, we have various departments and null values. And then under salary also, we have null values, right? So now how to treat each of the null value, right? So this is also one kind of manipulations that we are doing in our data. So if you see gender and department are text column, right? Like ABC stands for text. So the data type for these columns are text, and the data type for salary is decimal. If you see here, it's 1.2, right? So what all, one question might also come is what all data types you have available in Power BI, right? So what you can do is you can go here and check like what all types are being supported by Power BI. So we have decimal number, we have fixed decimal number. So this decimal number will be like 2-digit, 3-digit decimal. This one you can fixed decimal number, 1-digit, 2 digits, whole number, percentage, date, time, duration, text, binary, right? So you can mention like the widely used data type is text, decimal, whole number, percentage, and date time, right? So we usually use these data types. So if you answer this, then you are good. Like we are good with that question, right? So these are the data types that is available. Now to treat each of these data type, we need to do different things, right? As you mentioned, for gender and department, since it's text, what we can do, we can use replace option to do it. Like if we replace the null value from null to others, then that would suffice for gender and department. But for salary, we can't make it other, right? Because it is numeric. So we can't make it text. So we need to do some different operations on top of it, right? So let's start with gender column. Okay. So now, how will you do the replace value? Anybody can tell me?
Replace value,
Yeah.
or you can make right click if you want. Either way.
Got it. Yeah, you're right. So you can go right click and you can click on replace value. Now, the other thing to remember is Power BI is case sensitive, right? So if you put null as capital NULL or like this, which is not matching with the value present in this column, then it will not replace. So before replacing, we need to be sure that this is how it is written over here. So here, if we see, null is written in all lower, right? So what we can do is we can right click, we can go to replace values, and we need to put everything in small. And we want to replace it by anything you want to replace, you can put it. So since this is gender, we can make like male, female, and others, right? So I'll put other over here and then press OK. So now if inside it, you will have 3 values, male, female, and other, right? Similar operation we can do in department. Okay, because this one is also text. You can put here we have null as capital null, so you need to mention it as capital NULL. And then here we want to change it from some department, right? So what we can put is, let's say we can make it as engineering department, or we can make it, you will tell that no, engineering is already available, I can't make it to engineering. So you can put like the other department, which we don't know, like which department this data is not available with us, so we can make it other, right? So this one is also other. So we have now these many departments available with us with one value as other, which means like we don't have the data for that particular department. Like I don't know this particular person belongs to which department. So that's why we have assigned it as other, right? Now these two are done. Now what to do with the numeric column? What can we do here? Anybody?
We have a null value and a $sign.
We have num value and $sign. Okay.
We have
the null value, we can change it to 0.
Now,
No.
two things.
No.
Either we can convert this to 0, or what we can do is, if a salary of a particular person is not known, and we want only those kind of person, or the list of those people who had salary associated with it, right? So we can do two things here. Either if the requirement is we don't want those people whose salary is not available, we can filter out these values, right? Like we will not pull this data into our data set. And if they want that, even if we want, like even if the salary is available or not, we want to keep those instance, we will keep it and replace it null with 0, right? So it depends on the requirement, and it depends on the use case that you're working on. So right now, let's remove these rows, right? So what I'll do, we can apply filter over here, and we can just not select this one, because right now, since we are in the pane of Power Query Editor, if I'll not select it and apply this particular thing is creating, yeah, okay, and apply. So what will happen is, you can see here, right? The number of rows, like nowhere there is null, right? Because we have filtered it out. Now, there is one more questions that might come. Like in this pane, whenever you will upload or pull your data, you can see only top 1000 rows, which you see here. It's mentioned column profiling based on top 1000 rows. So here only top 1000 rows will appear, not more than that. Okay. So we have top 1000 rows over here. We have done three types of manipulation. First is removing rows. Second is making it as the first row as header. Third is removing null from text column. And fourth, just now what we did is removed null values or filtered out that value from for text for decimal or maybe numeric column, right? So these are the four steps that we have done. Now, very important, these two, right? Location and start date. Now, let's say if you see here for location, we have 3 Redmond Way, USA, right? And then here we have 8 Parliament Lane, right? So here if you see, we have um, three digits, right? USA, and here if you see, we have 2 digits, NZ, right? So if we want to extract country out of this location, how can we do it? That is also one kind of manipulation, right? The extracting or extracting values from a particular column. So how can we do that? Anybody?
With new column with example.
Yeah. So two things we can do. Either we can create a new column and then extract values out of it, or we can manipulate the same column. Like if we don't want location and we want country in our data set, we can do it on top of this column. And if we want, like we want to keep location here as well as create one new column with country, then we can do that as well. But what I want is to derive country out of this location column. How can we do it? Derive country means we have here country, right? USA, New Zealand, all these things, right? The last 2 or 3 uh, words I want to basically extract. So how can I do that?
You mean to remove NZ?
Yes. So what I want is, I want to keep this location column, okay, as is in my data. And then I want to create a new column with name as country and have values as, if this is the location, then the value will be as USA in the country. If this is the location, then the value should be NZ in the country column. Okay, so what we can do is, do you know we can duplicate this column also?
Yeah, we can duplicate.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So if somebody asks you to keep location as well as create a new column as country, we can duplicate this particular column. If somebody wants that we don't need location in the data, we just want country in the data, then what we can do, we can make edit in this particular column itself, right? So let me do a duplicate column, and duplicate column is also one type of manipulations that you can do in the data set, right? So by answering your question, you can answer this as well. Like this is one kind of manipulation. So if you right click also, like if you right click, we see like multiple options over here. All these are types of manipulations that you can apply in your data set, right? So for now, we will do duplicate column. Now we have duplicated column, the same column duplicated over here, just that the header name is present as location copy, right? So what we can do is we can rename this column. Here we can, how we can rename is we can double click and then we can rename it. So what we will rename it as country, and then we will do manipulations. Okay. Country. So then, and if you see under applied step, all those steps that we are doing are being recorded over here, right? So we have removed top rows, we have promoted headers, we have changed. Now again, this changed type steps that you are seeing, this is being applied by Power BI itself. If you are not comfortable with this particular step, after promoting headers, you can remove this change type and you can manually do it, assign it, right? So change type is one of the steps. Then we have replaced value under gender column. We have replaced value under what was the column name? Under department column. We have filtered rows under salary column. We have duplicated column and we have renamed column. So these are the steps that we have done till now, right? Now, how to basically extract values out of it. So anybody? Do you know like how to extract? If I want to extract basically 3 letters or 2 letters, like how can we do it?
First character on extract.
First, can you come again?
By using extract, and
Yeah.
we can say we can choose first character.
First character, okay. So now here you want anybody else, like
How about if we right click, transform and trim?
right click, transform
and trim.
And trim. Okay, let's try that. So what will happen with trim?
You can trim from the front or from the back.
The trim just trims the space.
Yeah.
So what it has done is it has trimmed the extra space if there is there, right? So we can't do it. Now, the second option that we have is extract, right?
Okay. Or we can do it by use delimiter.
Delimiter, yeah, we can do that. Yes. Okay. Got it. We can do that. We can try that as well. So let's do first as extract. Okay. So now from where you can extract it, like where can I go and extract this one? I clicked right click. And then I see here values as remove other columns, duplicate columns, change type, transform, replace values, split column. Under split column, we have multiple values as delimiter, as you mentioned right now, right? By number of characters, by positions, all these things, right? So we can try this one as well. Apart from that, we have extract option as well. Do you know where do we, here if you see we don't have extract option, right? So do you know where is it?
Under add column.
Okay.
Transform.
I went here and then?
No, we are on a home page, so add column.
You have to go transform.
No. Yeah. Add column and then I can see the extract over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have both and transform in that column option.
No, add column.
Yeah. Okay. I can't see it here. 1 minute.
We are on a home tab, so we have to be on add column.
Yeah, that's what I saw, add column, and there we have transform, we have extract, we have format, we have parse, we have index column, we have duplicate column, and all of these, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if we do this, extract, what we need to do here? What we can select here? Which option?
Takes before or
either
after delimiter.
Text before delimiter.
Text before delimiter, right? Now delimiter can be space, can be semicolon, can be comma, right? Right now what we need is we need to extract last 3 characters, right?
Oh,
So we have like inbuilt function over here, which is like first character, which is last characters, right? We can directly click on last character in this case, and then we can write the count 2, 3, 4, whatever we want, and then press OK. What will happen? We have USA, we have New Zealand, uh, we have NZ, right? Like this. So you have values over here. If you
And
don't
now,
want to do like this, what we can
and
do
now,
is we can, yeah, hello?
yeah, and now you have to do trim because there's a space before New Zealand in Z.
Yeah, yes, yes. So what we can do is, that is one thing. Otherwise, if you put text before delimiter or text after delimiter, so what will happen is, let's say you are putting text after delimiter and space, okay? So we have space at various places, right? 3 space Redmond, space Way. So at various places we have space. So we can't use, like it won't suffice our requirement here, right? Text before, text after, like that. So we will use last character in this case, okay? So as I mentioned, I'll put 3, I'll press OK. Now you have, oh, what happened? Control Z. Did I do something else? Last characters, 3. Okay, yeah. Now since NZ is 2, and then here it will be, there will be space, then we will do right click, transform, trim. Now it's done. Is it clear to everyone?
yes.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it. So now if you see here, what has happened is, since I have done add column and extract, one more column has been added, right? We can do it here as well, in this column as well, because here under add column we have add column. Functionality of add column is it will add one column, right? So on top of this it will add this thing, right? So either what you can do is, you don't have to duplicate this column. You can just go here. If you want to create one more column, you can come to add column, do extract, and you will have like one column here, and you can rename this one, right? Otherwise, what you can do is you can duplicate this, come here and make changes here only, right? So under transform, because add column is, it will add a particular column. Under transform, what it will do is it will keep the same column, but it will do transformation on top of it. So let's say I want to transform this particular column itself as country, this country column. So I'll go here, I'll extract, I'll do the similar thing over here. So if I do 3, okay, what will happen is here it will start appearing under country, and then I'll do the again right click and this trim thing, where it went, transform and then trim, right? So is it clear to you guys, like what's happening,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So what are the differences? There are 3 things that we discussed here. Earlier we didn't had country and last character, we had till start date. So this was the data set. Now somebody asks you to create, 2 things can be asked. One is, I don't want location column in my data set. I want a new column which is country, and which should be there in data, and remove this location column. Like I don't want location, I just want country, which will have the last 3 characters of this location. So we can make changes over here only. We can come here, we can extract, we can come under transform and do extract, right? So this will be this will have USA and NZ as values, right? Now we will rename this, trim, and all those things. Now if somebody asks, I want location as well in the data, and then I want a new column, which is country. This can be done in two ways. One is you can go to add column, do extract, and do last characters. It will automatically add one column with the last three characters. You can rename it, right, as country. That will be like one approach. The other thing is you can duplicate this column. You can go to transform and you can make changes, right? So we can do either ways. And all these steps that we are talking comes under data manipulations. So what are the various options you have under data manipulation? So these are all the options, and there are multiples. Like these are few examples that today we have discussed, but there are multiples that we can go through. Okay, so let's keep only one particular column. Now, there is one more important concept here. Whatever you are seeing under applied steps, so Power Query is step-by-step language. So if you are applying one step, the next step will depend on the previous step. So let's say you have done promoted headers, okay? And then you have done multiple steps. If somebody wants to remove this promoted header from here, then what will happen? We will get error in all the next step, because what is happening is the next steps are dependent on the previous step. So if somebody asks you like, can we do it, or like how it works, you can tell that Power Query is a step-by-step language, and every step depends on the previous step. So we can't randomly delete the previous step. The best option or the best way we can do it is, if you are not comfortable with this particular step, start from the below, like from the last option. Trim, I'll click like, I don't want this. Then I don't want this. So what will happen is the last two steps, the last two things that we discussed here, this has gone. Then we don't want trimmed text. So it will go like step by step. You can go from below, right? So now we already have this country column. So I don't want to add column. So I'll remove this particular applied step from here, trimmed, insert last character. So now we have, is anyone asking some question? No question. I heard some noise, so I thought somebody asking question. Okay, that's fine. So here now we can keep only till here, till renamed columns. So we had renamed it as country. Now I'll do under transform. We will go here. We will do extract. We will do last characters 3. Okay. Right. And then after this, I'll go. I'll transform and then trim. Okay, so that's it, right? So we have worked with location, how to create new column, how to do extract, how to use extract function, and all of this. Now the one of the important thing that we need for our any kind of data is date, like for which particular date or which particular month this data belongs, right? So now here we have date. Let's say we want to extract year out of it. How we can do it? Can anybody tell me?
Right click and year, choose year.
Right click and then where I can go?
Transform and year.
Transform and then year.
Then year.
Here, right? So now tell me, what's the difference between like the way this is done and the and if I go here and then I want to do it, like I want to have one more column as year with value as 2020, 2019, 2021, if there is 2021, like that. So I want to keep start date as well in my data, and then I want to create a new column and then extract or maybe have the year. So how can I do it?
You have to duplicate the start date and
Okay.
do the same thing that we did earlier.
Got it. So I'll duplicate. I have duplicated. I went here. I go to here. I pressed here, and this is this, right? Now, is there and then I need to basically rename this particular column, which is here, right? Now, is there some other way I can do this extraction?
Mhm.
Like without right click, is there any option in the ribbon where we can
Yes.
do it?
How
Yeah,
about
Yes.
date?
That's update.
correct. So let's say, let me remove these two. Let's look at those options as well. Okay. Let's keep this duplicated column. Go to transform. Here also you are saying date, right? But I won't use this one because this will add one more column to our data set. So I'll go to transform and then I'll go to date, right? So under date, what all we have? Under date, we have option as is, date only, year, month, quarter, week, day, right? So this is much like you can go granular till day, then day of week, day of year, like that. So under right now we need year. So we can select year, it will take only year from the column. If you need start of year, you can pick that. If you need end of year, you can pick that. So you can directly click on year and we will have the year here. Okay, and then you can rename this as year. Got it? And if you want to do it in this column itself, if you go here and click on year, what will happen? It will change under start date itself. Okay, so I don't need this. I just wanted to show you. So now, and you need to keep on seeing this, like what is the data type of this particular column, right? So if you go here and see the data type is 1, 2, 3, right? So that means that this one is not text, this one is numeric, but can we change the data type for this one 1, 2, 3? Because here under start date you see that we have date time, right? Here we have 1, 2, 3. So this is different, right? But then why here it's 1, 2, 3? Because we only have uh, values like 2020, 2019. So this column is being treated as numeric, right? So uh, I just wanted to tell you like what's the difference. If you see here, the icon will explain itself, right? If it's ABC, it's text. If it's tabular format, it's date time. If it's 1, 2, 3, it's numeric. So as soon as we converted a start date to year, the date type has changed. It has become 1, 2, 3. So what it means is it's taking this particular column as numeric because we have values as 2020, 2019, 2021, like that. Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we are good with 1, 2, 3 because we have values over here. So that's fine. We don't need to convert it. If you want to convert any of these uh, uh, data type, you can do that. You can go to home and you can look at this data type and you can change it accordingly, right? So whenever you feel that this data type is not looking correct, I need to, so it might happen that while working on the dashboard you feel that no, this is not the data type that I wanted and I missed it while doing the transformation. So you can do it inside the Power BI desktop also, like inside the data view that we have there, right? So for now, I think we are good. And then our data set has been created. So this is what we have. After once you are done with all the transformations or manipulations in the data, you need to go under home, close and apply, right? So this is being loaded inside the tool, Power BI tool. So it's loaded. One more thing we missed is that we could have renamed this sheet one. I showed you, right? In the navigator, the right pane, we had the rename option. We could have renamed. So let's say you are pulling multiple sheets, right? And you need to keep a track of this data belongs to what, like what is this data, is this a sales data or is this a customer data, what kind of data is it? You can rename it so that you are aware, okay, this particular sheet contains customer data or sales data, right? So we could have done that as well. Right now it's appearing sheet one, but we could have renamed it, right? So now whatever data you have loaded will appear inside field this one. And if you want to see values under this particular sheet, you can go in the left side, you know already, right? We have report view, we have data view, we have model view. You can go to data view and then you can see all the values that you have here, right? So this is what we had, right? Now we can come here and then start doing visualization. So this is like very basic data set after manipulations that we got. On top of it, we can have calculated columns, calculated measures, when to create calculated field, when to create calculated, like when to create measures, what is the use of both, what are the differences between both. We can cover that maybe in next session. I think we are almost on time. We have like 5 minutes left, so that will take a little more time. That is a big concept. So for today, what we have learned is basically how to import it and what are various manipulations you can do, right? So this question might come, right? What are the various data types that is being supported by Power BI, right? How does Power Query works? So you can tell like it is step-by-step language. Every step depends on the previous step, so that so we can start deleting. If we don't want a particular step, we should start deleting from the bottom, because if we alter any step in between, the next step, if it's dependent on the previous, it will get through an error, right? So that is one of the good concept that you can, if anybody asks, you can tell, right? So these are the things. Again, we discussed that Power BI is case sensitive while doing manipulations, right? You can't write null as capital N if it's capital NULL, right? Because if it's small, it will not pick that up. Okay. And yeah, I think today we have seen like how to load data from Excel. We can do the similar exercise from a database, SQL Server, or Oracle, right? Or we can directly pick it from some folder, right? So those are the things that we can do. But Excel is widely used, so this so that's why I picked that, and like I think this is what we got. Now once you have this data, we can create these charts. So if they, like we have 4 minutes, so I'll quickly explain what are the various charts we have, like widely used charts. We have like multiple charts over here under visualization, but what are the widely used charts and when do we use those charts, right? So can somebody tell me like what all charts you guys know, and do you know like when to use what chart?
We pretty much cover most of this the regular visualizations, the visuals, but we still need at least myself, I need some more explanation on which one to use when. I still some help on that one.
Got it. But what all kinds of charts are available in this Power BI? Can you tell me?
Yeah, it's the stack bar and this cluster bar and stack bar chart and pie and scattered and funnel and map, shape map, all this cards, multi cards and KPI slicer, all this.
Got it. Okay. Yes, you're right, actually. So those are the types of charts that we have. So at the top, whatever you are seeing is all are bar charts. Like the bar charts or column charts that you are seeing these are like bar charts and column charts, right? Bar charts is basically the chart with the horizontal line, and the column chart is the similar concept, but it's in the column, right? Now, these are the stacked bar chart and stacked column chart, and these are the clustered bar chart or clustered column chart. What is the difference? Under a stacked bar chart, we have, let's say we have gender, okay, or we have here department, right? And in each department, what is the percentage of folks with uh, gender as male, what are the percentage of folks with gender as female. We can show it with this particular chart, these two charts, or stacked bar chart, stacked column chart, right? Or 100% stacked column chart, because what we need to do is we need to consider, like, let's say in one department, engineering department, we have 100 folks, right? So, and out of those 150, 50 are male, 50 are female. I'm not taking others, just for easier calculation. So what will happen is 50% is male and 50% is female, right? 50 by 100. So this column chart, 100% stacked column chart, what it will do is it will consider 100 number as 100%, right? Like under engineering department, we have 100 folks. So it will consider that is 100%, right? And then it will divide male and female. So it will show, like you can see here, blue and white, right? So it will show, like, let's say 50% as blue and 50% as white, which means that 50% will be male and 50% will be female. So that is like 100% stacked bar chart, right? Then we have clustered chart, which means, like, if somebody wants to show, like, let's say male left, female right, like they want to see values under male and female, right? So this chart will have like multiple under one department. If there are 3 or 4 things and they want to look at it, you can have it, but that this is not suggested chart for this particular purpose, right? I'll tell you when to use clustered column chart, but these are the various charts, bar chart and column chart in the top pane. Then we have line chart, then we have area chart, uh, again line and stacked column in one chart. Likewise, we have, like, these are funnel, scatter plot, pie chart, right? Now let me quickly cover for today uh, uh, when to use bar chart or column chart, right? So whenever we want to look at specific value across various categories, right, then we will use bar or column chart, right? So various categories, I meant, like, let's say various departments. So I want to see specific value across various departments, then we will use bar chart or column chart, right? Then we have, let's say, pie chart. This is like widely used chart. So when you want to show uh, under one particular, let's say, let me take department. Okay. So I want to see under each department how many people are there. Like, what is the percentage of people under each department? So what we can do is we can create a pie chart, and it will show, like, okay, 8% of folks are present in engineering department, 11% are present in sales department, 12% are present in some other department, likewise, right? So when you want, like, under each department how many folks are present, then you can use pie chart, right? So this is basically parts of a whole, like the entire whole is a department, and then we want to make parts out of each department, right? Then we will use pie chart. Now coming to line chart, because these are 3 widely used charts. In each of the dashboard you will use column chart, bar chart, pie chart, and line chart. So line chart is always used to show trends. By trends, I mean, like, what was the value of a particular, let's say, salary. Okay. So what is the average salary of these folks by year? Okay. So in 2019, what was the average salary? In 2020, what was the average salary? In 2021, what was the average salary? Let's say you have 10 years of data. So you will show by line chart, okay, in 2019, the average salary was good. So you can compare actually, like, in which year the average salary was up or down. So line chart is always used to show the trend, right? So these are the three widely used charts. Maybe we can discuss like other charts as well in our next session, right? But is this clear to you guys, or do you have any questions on this?
Yeah, so far clear, but from your experience, maybe the next class, can you, show us exactly how your assignment will be given on this particular charts, and how you determine, which assignment goes to, which scenarios on the next class, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, sure. So anyways, like what we will do in our next class, this is the data set that we have created. Now, using that data set, what all charts we can create, when to use which charts, and like measures and calculated columns, when to create, how to create, and what are the differences. We can cover that in our next class.
Yeah, and in addition, how the assignment will be, worded, or, come, in a scenario based, it might be, the retail or, banking, financial, whatever, but how they worded, when we get assignments.
Did assignments means I'm not clear with your question.
Okay, when we have some job assignment, how that work, for example, the company needs the profit of from this department from this year, how they word it, just to be familiar a little bit, before we get into it.
Okay. So you basically want to see like what all, let's say I pick sales data or retail data, and then you want to see like what all KPIs, what all columns are there, and how we will create charts for that particular, like that data set. Like in which scenario I need to create which charts. Is that your question? Like, let's say I pick retail data, right? And then I have department, I have sales, I have volume, I have some KPIs, some metrics, right? And then when to create when to use which chart to chart and explain like what's happening. Is that your question?
Yeah, I just want to, see it, from real world job,
Got it. I
perspective.
think the similar exercise that we are doing, you want to look at like the real world data, like how it works, and when to visualize what kind of charts, right? Like, got it. Okay, we can see that. Yeah, no issues.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I think we are on time for today. We can connect again in our next session, and you guys can ask me questions. Like if you have any doubt, you can go through the video and then come back with your questions.
Okay, and how do access these videos? And second question is, what should we do in terms of time?
Okay, so